Hey everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day, a great start to week 2 of distant learning. So here we go. Last week I was really impressed with you guys. A lot of you guys were using your planners, a lot of you guys were killing it with the learning logs, and your focus notes looked so great. The Cornell notes, honestly, they just looked beautiful. There was space for those questions. I saw that you guys did the summaries. You're really interacting with the notes, even though notes look a little bit different this time around compared to if you're actually sitting in the class. So for this week, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys my screen really quick and we can see what we're going to talk about. All right, so this is Distant Learning 9 and 10 AVID for the third episode of season 1, okay? All right, so the thing about this week is you guys are going to keep using your agendas, all right? So either with your actual planner, an agenda, or on a sheet of paper. I want you guys to create a daily schedule, okay? So this is going to look like kind of what we did AVID 9th grade with our weekly schedules already. We've done an activity really similar to this, but you're going to do that for your distant learning quarantine time. I want you to tell me what time you're waking up. It doesn't have to be 7 a.m. because trust me, I have not gotten up at 7 a.m. If they want us to come back in May, it's going to be very difficult. I'm so sorry, first period. I might have to move you guys to third period. I'm kidding. But what you're going to do is you're going to create a schedule. I want to know, what time are you waking up? What time are you getting started with classes? What classes are you going to start first? Are you checking your email? What time are you going to go for lunch? What time are you going to work out? So that you know a better idea of your time, because with me, it was so easy to wake up in the morning, get in the car and go to school, then do my day. And then once I'm off of work or once I'm done with school, then I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to cook my dinner. I'm going to clean up everything. I'm going to do my nightly routine, make sure that everything's ready for the morning, and then go to bed. Well, now that you're at home and you don't actually have those physical places to go to, you don't physically go to school, you don't physically go to the gym, you don't physically go to your friend's house or wherever. You're not physically going places, but we still have the same amount of time. How are we going to create a daily schedule? All right. I want you guys to highlight in that schedule your 4 most productive hours, okay? So in a day, we have to be productive between 7 and 2 p.m. That's just what we have to do as students and as teachers at school. But now that you're at home, you might have productive hours between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. And that's okay, because if you are being productive in that time, I don't want you to feel like that's a bad thing to do, because everybody's productive differently. The same amount of work that I could do between 12 and 4 p.m., you could be doing between 10 a.m. and 1 a.m. Now, if you're productive in the sense like, I'm going to play all these games at that time, well, it's not your really productive hours that we're looking for, at least in this school setting, okay? So I want you to highlight in your agenda next week when you turn it in, those 4 productive hours, okay? It might be on a separate sheet of paper. So you might have your agenda as one image, and then you might list out what your day looks like for the next image, okay? Or for the next image. So let's go on to the next thing. Focus notes, Cornell notes. Like I said, you guys are really rocking it with the Cornell notes. Remember, this is the area that you are going to be creating your notes. This is going to be the side column that you can put your main ideas, your questions, your study prompts, any diagrams that you might have in your summary column. You guys have really been doing well in your summary column too. I would suggest, if you didn't do a summary column last week, go ahead and make space or turn your paper over and do a summary on the back of last week's, because that's the perfect time for focus notes. Then this week, create space for the summary, okay? Some of you guys have already done the summary, so great job with that. And then this week, we're going to continue the summary. So I would say at the beginning of every week, maybe, today's Monday or Tuesday, you go back to last week's and look at that summary again to see where are the connections between these 2 sets of notes, okay? This week focus again is going to be questions. We're going to look at lots and hots. Summer is coming up. That's why I'm going to do a workout later. Trying to, look great at the beach, if we can go to the beach. But anyway, I am not talking about looking hot at all, but I am talking about higher order thinking questions, okay? Thinking skills, all right? I've showed you guys, I'm gonna link this into the gradebook so that you guys can access it as well. Right here is lower order thinking skills. So lots. Gathering information. That's gonna be really basic. You don't need to think a lot. During this gathering of the information, okay? So questions like identifying or recalling information, such as defining or duplicating or listing. So I have seen on some of your questions, define lot, define hot. Like that's not necessarily, that is a question, but I want to challenge you guys to go into those higher order thinking questions or those higher order thinking skills. So let's move from this area of lot into those hot skills or questions. I'm used to questions, so if you hear me say hot questions, that's what I'm talking about, okay? Reminder, take your phone and silence it. That was actually one of my students from forensics. I haven't heard from her last week, but anyways, okay, so let's go into those hot questions or those hot skills. So this one is processing and output. So making sense of the information, processing the information gathered by making connections and creating relationships. I'm gonna zoom in for you guys, sorry. So let's try to see if we can use these question stems or like these question vocabulary to create questions that are higher order thinking. So carry out, employ, choose, demonstrate, do, all of these things, all of these question stems are really going to make you process your information. So classify, I saw one of you guys are doing brain, I think it missed Dr. Garcia's biology class. So classify the parts of the brain into function or skill, or classify or discriminate or distinguish or examine, experiment. So all of these things are actually should be pretty familiar. So I would say this first level is level 1. What we just talked about is level 2, and now we're getting into the level 3 questions. So some of you guys might have a topic or a subject that just comes so easily, and so you don't really have to process it as much. So that's why we'd move straight into these level 2 and level 3. So processing and output. So this is just going to pair really well with your, I would say like house questions. So go in your binder and look for your house questions on the other side and look at these two side by side. Maybe it's not clicking, maybe I need to do some more teaching on it, but what I really want you guys to focus on is questioning techniques. How can I question my notes better? How can I create questions better in my notes? So that's what you guys are going to be doing this week. Again, if we look at this house situation or this diagram, so we have level 1, gathering, processing, and applying. So describe, define, those are really easy. Easy questions, no thinking. Those are just lot questions compared to our higher order thinking where I have to compare and contrast. That's a little bit different. So let's go back to this. And this is exactly what I was talking about. So this list in your binder, refer back to that whenever you are doing your notes. Have your resources. I have my textbook with me. Have your computer with you or whatever device you're working on. Have your notes next to you and your agenda. So once you're writing, you can have all these things out. As a freshman and a sophomore, it is so important to create these skills and these habits now, because as a junior, you're not going to have this list of questions in front of you because you're already gonna, it's already going to be practice so much, so your desk isn't going to have to be cluttered with everything and so many things, because your teachers are going to give you a lot of materials as a junior and your desk is already going to be cluttered. So all of these things are basically going to be motor memory that you're going to be able to tap into as a junior, but you have to start now as a freshman and a sophomore to get to that level as a junior. So let's keep going. Let me actually exit out of this really, well, that's fine. All right, so next is learning logs. You guys killed the learning log game last week. You did a really, really good job. I was very impressed with your learning logs. Some of them were a little bit short though. Learning logs really need to analyze and retain information. They just shouldn't be recall, but it should be really diving in deep to what are your teachers doing? What is Ingenuity teaching me? What is Ingenuity? What's CK12 learning? What am I talking about on Microsoft Teams? What am I doing on these online modules? So when you're at your computer, you really need to have these materials with you. You should have a highlighter, a pen, a pencil, a ruler, a calculator, something to write down, not only for my class, but that's going to really help you retain that information, okay? Let me hop over to Learning Logs. This is a resource that was on last week. So with this, here are some sections of learning log questions that you can utilize, not necessarily always using the learning logs that I've given you in the past. So I think this was an example of a learning log that I used last week for you guys. And this may have been another one. Actually, these are a couple of different learning logs. So let's go over really quickly basic structures of learning logs. So here are a couple of questions. So what did I do in class today? What did I learn? What did you find, or what did I find interesting? And what questions do I have about what I learned? So I'm kind of switching the format of this. So instead of saying you, I'm saying I, because what if I'm actually filling out this learning log, okay? So analyzing new information. So that one is basic. Everybody, you can do that for any subject. It is totally fine. So maybe it's just for a subject that you really don't know where to start. Start on the basics. And maybe if that doesn't challenge you, move to the next one. So let's move on to analyzing a new idea, okay? So what were the main ideas? What did I understand? What questions do I still have about the information? How am I gonna find more information? And how does this idea relate to something that I've already learned in class? At this point in the game, at this point in the year, we are in the fourth quarter and we've already had a lot of information. I know in biology, especially, and maybe in your geometry or algebra class, you guys were getting ready for the EOC at the end of the year. So a lot of the stuff that you're doing now is just a review. I know whenever I taught biology, my fourth quarter, maybe a month into it, maybe like 2 weeks or I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks into that fourth quarter was new content. And then we stopped. We started really studying for that EOC. So it's going to be a lot of review for you guys. All right. Quick writes. So you can utilize a quick write with a learning log. You can utilize a student written essay exam questions with learning logs. So go through that, read through that. I'm not going to read that. Showing new vocabulary or a new concept. So you can utilize your vocabulary when creating these learning logs. So as you read, copy down an unfamiliar word and the sentence you found it in. Look up the word in the dictionary, write down the definition. If you're unsure, ask a teacher or another student or Google or your parents or anyone. Write a paragraph that shows the meaning of the word without telling the definition. So it's really showing what those words are. So maybe you're in your medical class and you are really struggling with one of these words. This is a great way to show me that you are having, I would say, like a productive struggle, because a lot of times whenever we hear a struggle, it can just feel defeating and negative, but a productive struggle, you are going to be really making progress with these words that you're using in your classes. So productive struggle with showing vocabulary or a new concept. So maybe even if it's a new concept. So let's talk about, like, I know some of you guys are in history. So like the Renaissance. Let's look up Renaissance, do some more research on it. You can use your textbook. You don't have to go far. You can use Google or anything else that your teacher gives you. Maybe you even are as bold to ask your teacher, hey, can you send me some more resources on this topic, on this concept, on this word? And your teacher, I am sure, is going to send you some stuff that you're going to be able to read and understand, okay? Writing about the news. So Basically like writing about the news. All right, part of what makes one literate is being aware of what's happening in the world. Choose an event unfolding in the media that's related to what's being studied in class. So, like, Mr. Kin, I don't really know what to do. I just don't have a learning log idea. Well, find a news article and then relate that to what's going on in class. So maybe I don't have any questions about math. Maybe I don't have any questions about science. Maybe I don't have any questions about history. Well, find a news article and link it to that. Life application, same way, and creative solutions. So I'm going to leave this for you guys in Student Portal, a great resource to look over when you're trying to figure out how do I make my learning logs that much better, okay? All right, let's go back to our PowerPoint. And here's where we split off, okay? So AVID 10, in the comments below, I'm going to show you guys where to jump to. But AVID 9, hang tight so that I can explain what you'll be doing this week as an addition to what we did last week as well, okay? You guys are going to be going on virtual college tour visits. You're going to go to UVisit, and this is going to be a college tour website. This is what it looks like, and this is kind of the interface. You 360 experience or virtual reality. You guys can go through all of these very prestigious, well-known colleges. So let's see, Dartmouth, for example, is in New Hampshire. It's going to give you a little snapshot. It's a private university. Private means that you're probably going to pay more. Just to let you know, 4 years, their tuition, and then the amount of students that they have, okay? So same over here, Yale, Princeton. Maybe you don't want to go to a school like that. Go up here to the college search, and let's search up USF, all right? University of South Florida, that's the Bulls in Tampa. So right here, so you can look at that. So again, so public university, do you guys see how it's about $5,000 compared to the $40,000 with Yale? That's per year, not over 4 years. I'm not sure what the difference between these two tuitions are. I'm assuming the first one is in-state and the second one is out-of-state. Let's see if that's similar. Typically with private universities, they're going to have the same tuition for in-state and out-of-state, but this one, public university difference, private university, see in-state and out-of-state. I'm almost positive that's what it is. So yeah, that's kind of it. You guys are going to fill out a form. I'm going to send it on Student Portal for you guys, so you can look on there to see what information are you going to look up during that 3D college visit. Okay, look down in the comments, college 9, AVID 9, and I will let you guys know what portion of the video that you can skip to resume watching. Okay. All right. Hey, AVID 10, you guys are going to be starting your SAT prep, all right, at home. I want you to download a couple of apps that are available. I actually have a student calling, so give me 1 second. Hey, Cameron. Hey, I'm actually videoing, or I'm filming right now. Could I call you back in like 3 minutes? Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, anyways, what we have is I need you guys to practice for 15 minutes a day. I also have no idea how to edit video, so I'm already this like far into it. So what I want you guys to do is 15 minutes a day to practice these SAT questions, okay? SAT and ACT are coming up very quickly, and I want you guys to utilize this time at home to practice. 15 minutes might seem like a long time, but over time and us practicing now is really going to pay off whenever you have to take those tests later. So these are a couple of apps that are compatible with both Apple and Android. Khan Academy, I actually downloaded it today. Let me show you guys what it looks like. So let's see on Khan Academy. Let's see. Let me stop sharing my screen really quick. And then, all right, so this is what Khan Academy looks like. Let me go home. So once you get here, once you're at the home site of Khan Academy, then you are going to scroll, okay? Go ahead and scroll until you find test prep, all right? Once you get test prep, click on it. And then that first one, Do you guys see it? SAT, that's the one that I want you to click on. So once you've clicked on SAT, now you can figure out, okay, let's practice some of that. So this is going to be a great opportunity for you guys to use SAT prep. It can go through questions that you need help on. So if you need help on math or English, this is going to be the perfect tool for you, okay? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time for you guys. And let's see. Yep, I haven't checked out Daily SAT Practice SAT yet, or the other one, but I know Khan Academy has a lot of resources for you guys, okay? So if you need help, let me know. If you can't download the app, let me know as well, and I will make sure to send you a link that you can practice SAT questions, okay? All right, here we go. On to the next one. Welcome back, AVID 9, and here's the thing, guys. Those TRFs, they are coming. This little funny meme I saw is so funny. I'll have a TRF with a math problem. How original. Oh my gosh. Guys, I want your TRFs to mean something. I don't want them just to be another thing that you do every week. And some of you guys have used the same problem multiple times in a week, and you know, I have your grade has been affected by that. But anyway, next week, get ready for TRFs because we're going to figure it out, because TRFs are such an important part of AVID. We really have to integrate them back. So these past 2 weeks are going to be getting you prepared, and then on to the next, all right? So best way to communicate with me, remind and through email, okay? If you guys need anything, please let me know. All these assignments are going to be due on Friday. If you need anything, like I said, let me know. I believe in you guys. I'm so proud of you guys. Can't wait to see your faces on Zoom sometime next week. If you need anything, like I said, let me know, and I will see you guys soon.